Hello, everybody, and welcome to Marveling in the Madness. We're back with another podcast after a long time. Steve, my friend, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm all right, I think. Yeah, I'm.
You think?
It's been a busy week, I think, for me and the country. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Politics. You love politics. It's one of your favorite things.
Mm, mm.
So,
Yeah.
well, it's a Saturday night, but was it? It was Friday morning. We found out that the Labour Party will be our new governing party, with
Oh,
Keir
shocking.
Starmer getting in as the new Prime Minister. What do you think about that?
Well, the Labour thing wasn't that surprising, to be honest. I'll be honest, I'm super casual about most politics. I don't really care. But yeah, that wasn't that surprising. I don't even know who the other dude is, so my opinion on it doesn't really matter.
Yes, well, we should add to this that you can't actually vote anyway. So, but
I'll be honest, even if I could, I have a very blasé not affair, that's probably not the right word to use, but
blasé affair.
I genuinely don't care about politics. Like the last, I don't know, let's say the last 5 years, I've been roughly following. I feel like other than Brexit, there's not really been major changes. Maybe that's just me living in my own bubble, not seeing it, but I just feel people just waffle, promise the world, and then nothing ever actually gets done. So
Yeah.
after a while, I'm like, what is everyone? What are we all actually complaining about? And then you go vote and you think something's going to happen, and then maybe it's very pessimistic, but like nothing really ever changes.
My thing is, I'm quite interested in. Obviously, I'm quite interested in it, but ultimately, I just hope the Labour Party, now they're in power, hope that they do a decent job. I think a lot of people weren't feeling very optimistic this election. They were kind of like, there are no great choices, but we just want something to do slightly better than we're currently having.
Has it
Um,
ever been really?
well, I don't know. I suppose there are at times, probably. My thing is, I just hope they do a reasonable job, so there's no calamities and don't mess anything up significantly. As long as we do a reasonable job and the country does okay, then fine. But what annoys me about the elections is that we seem to, including the media, we become obsessed with issues that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And it's so bizarre how we stir up. And I think it's partly a fear thing, but it's also because people want something to focus on. And I think
Yeah, but is it
the
that surprising though? Because they know those sort of, well, let's just pick one at random. So let's just say it's immigration. They know for whatever reason, that's the one that plays with people's hearts for whatever reason. It's kind of weird. So I'm like, why would you not want to go somewhere where your family can be better off? And would you not want the exact same thing? So it's the thing that pulls at like, well, pulls at random people's hearts, and somehow they all get riled up about it. And I feel like if you just take the time to think about it, it's nothing really to get worried about.
it is a strange one, for me anyway, that immigration, we need immigration. We don't have enough people to fill a lot of roles that we have. And actually, we've always had quite a lot of immigration, and we have a lot of emigration. A lot of people go and live in Spain and places. And there's nothing wrong with that. Um, and I think actually in most cases it really probably does affect your life. There may be some people, and I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of people it really doesn't affect your life, especially not in a negative way. And I think
Not
it's just,
really.
unfortunately, I think the news make it the number one issue because I think it's something that people can get behind and feel like they can make a difference about, maybe. And maybe it's a thing that people fear change, fear the unknown, fear people they don't know, fear
Maybe
what
it's that, but I feel like it's like a small minority that just seem to shout really loudly because I don't feel that that's the majority of view of the UK, but for whatever reason, they seem to get the most press, which is just absurd,
it's
really.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
But anyway,
but again, you're that surprised because it's entertainment's not the right word, but obviously it gets a lot of views, gets a lot of clicks. People are going to be uproared and whatnot. So again, you're plucking at people's heartstrings. They don't. I feel like most people generally don't care. but the news or the media will just pump it in the face because they know that around a few moms up on Facebook, they'll make a post. People are now commenting now that on that post, they're now sharing said post. So, it creates this whole little weird little wormhole. And I'm not that surprised. It's easy. It's almost, I don't want to say manipulation because that makes me sound like I'm trying to be better than them, but it is easy to manipulate them sort of situations.
Yeah, we can all get manipulated. We all believe things because
Of course.
we've seen it as
That's what I'm
truth.
saying. My beliefs are not better than anybody else's, but at some point you can see that certain people are just being played just because these are the topics that come up time and time again, and it's the one that gets the most media attention.
We've talked about it before, but like if you look for certain things, then your views get reinforced because like Facebook and things like that will start showing you things that agree with your viewpoint. So before long, you're getting lots of things that confirm your biases, and it's the same for all of us. We all have things that we then believe because we've seen evidence that supports it, whether that be true or not. That's not the point. But the fact is that we get biases. Really interesting, but quite scary, really, how the media and other things play on our biases. But anyway, there we go. Let's hope for another okay 4 years of this country.
I'll wait to that next discussion. You know what? If you invite me out to tea again, you talk politics, I'm leaving next time. I swear to God.
It's important.
Is it
Well,
when you see
for
actual
people.
change and you have evidence and let me know, then I might pay attention. So to be fair, I find the American politics actually way more interesting because there's two old dinosaurs fighting each other. That's way more funny to me.
Yeah,
It's like you can screw on to, and again it's horrible to say, but you can screw out together like the last couple of brain cells to actually complete a sentence because we think ours is bad. Theirs is way worse.
I really I think about people like I'm thinking if I was that age, there's no way I'd be in any state to run the country. I'd be
No,
just probably just managing to get out of bed in the morning and do my normal day.
I'm
Like
like, how has it come to that? Like, it's both people that are near the end stages of their life, and now for whatever reason have got so much power. Well, I suppose Biden's the easiest again one to manipulate because he's not really gonna think for himself and fight back too much.
I don't know.
That's
Who knows?
you know,
But you do
I
think
think it's like a whole puppeteer. Again, you can go into conspiracies if you want to, but to me, it just makes sense. It's the easiest one to just lay down the laws or just go through him. He's not going to do much. He's just happy to be there. He doesn't even know he's there. Who knows?
I just think that surely there must be people who are younger that
Well, there's
are more capable
the
at this point.
vice president. What's her name? Camilla.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
and
not
there's
saying they're bad at things. I know Biden's had a few gaffes recently, but I just think you must not be now operating at your best. There must be people who are younger and able to operate at a higher level than you at your age. It's far too
no,
old.
there's another Indian chap. I forget his name, and I think he's quite interesting. It's gonna annoy me. I can't remember his name. It'll come to me later, or I'll search it. But yeah,
That's
we'll move on. I can't remember his name,
we'll
but I
move
think
on.
he's quite interesting.
So,
Uh,
well, let's go into the world of sport. Um, so this morning we had the rugby. I didn't actually watch any of the games, but I saw some of the results. Have you seen all the results?
not all of them because there's some games still literally being played right now. But I did see the England one this morning.
Yeah, so England lost to New Zealand by 1 point. It looks like it was a good game. I watched from the highlights. It looked quite close. And then
Hmm.
Australia beat Wales 25-16, I think was the final score there. Um, I think Wales had a try disallowed, but it sounds like it was Australia should have won it and did relatively comfortably. And then obviously we had Ireland v South Africa this afternoon, and the Box won that one reasonably. I think it
Yeah,
was
it was a weird
27-20.
game towards the end. Yeah, I watched well, I actually watched all of that game, but it was an interesting game. Very lackadaisical from both sides. Like I don't say like both teams played the best. Andre Pollard missed, I think, 4 kicks, three or
That is
four kicks,
unusual
which
for
is quite
him.
surprising for him. Um, so yeah, it was an interesting one because I think we played better the week, 2 weeks before that against Wales, absolutely thrashed Wales. So I was expecting more of the same, but obviously Ireland are more of a higher quality as
Their
well, so I
best
got to
team,
take that
yeah.
into account.
Uh, I,
Um, but yeah, there was still like for me too many mistakes that South Africa made, easy tries that let through that didn't really needs to happen. But win's a win, so it doesn't really matter too much.
yeah, I can't see Ireland probably beating South Africa now, and I think England are going to struggle to beat New Zealand after losing the first game. I think it's always hard against those teams if you don't get off to a good start because they tend to warm up into playing better.
Yeah, but England only just lost. So for me, that's not too bad. So at least it wasn't like, I don't know, a 20-point gap. Then you're like,
No, no,
oh my
no. I
God,
think we played well, but you tend to find if you only just lose to New Zealand the first time, then you'll probably get beaten slightly worse the second time. Maybe we won't, but history
no, I
seems.
reckon you'll hold your own. I'd rather lose by a point than 20 points. Or I suppose anyone would. Because that means it was like so much closer. Yeah, I realize how daft that sounds, but like in my head, it made a lot more sense.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I know what you mean.
because that means like the margins were that much closer. It was
Yeah,
just maybe one or two mistakes that happened that you'll probably look at and be like, okay, so when crucial moments are happening, let's not do that, and we put ourselves in with a better chance. Because obviously, once they've run away with it, there's too many stakes. You're like, we might as well go completely back to the drawing board. But if it's only 1 or 2 points in it, you're like, okay, it's a small margins, so we need to
yeah.
make sure we're making a difference there.
Agreed. Agreed.
But yeah, I'm just happy there's rugby on TV again because I know our next thing we're going to talk about is football, but again, I don't really care that
Which is
much.
a sport that neither of us watch, but I feel like we should just mention it that so England have played today against Switzerland and it went to penalties. And yeah, England won. I didn't watch the game. I only followed the news slightly. Um,
Well, at least they're getting some practice at penalties, then they're winning them. So
anyway, won
it's
penalties. We're obviously not as bad as we
more
used to be.
than well,
So
it
yeah,
is.
semi-finals. Well done us.
It's
We,
shocking that they leave it to like literally the last minute when theoretically this is what I've been told. I don't know how true it is, but technically they say they're the best side on paper. So
I don't know.
take that with the biggest pinch of salt.
People are always
But
optimistic.
to be fair, like I don't watch games anymore. I more now just watch my Facebook feed when it's on because to me it's the funniest thing. And it happens across all sports, and I probably do as well when I'm watching F1 or rugby. But like they'll just talk about the manager or whatever. They'll be like, "Oh, Gareth Southgate's the worst thing since sliced bread," or "Harry Kane is the worst player in the world. We don't know why we keep choosing him." And then literally 10 minutes later, you score, and they're like, "Oh no, he's amazing. The tactics from Southgate. Oh man, he's absolutely perfect. Never doubted him." I'm like, oh, I hate every single one of you. Because it's just so fickle, but it's more entertaining for me to watch. Like I'd rather just watch that instead of watching the game because it's just hilarious.
I
And the
don't.
thing is, we all do it. It's just funny to me because there's for me, I shouldn't really care about any sports. I'm trying not to anymore, but obviously because I don't care about football, I can find it more funny. Whereas
Same.
if it was for rugby, there's going to be a bit more emotion involved. But I'm slowly trying to draw back from most sports because, like, at the end of the day, whatever team you support, even if they win everything, it doesn't make a difference to your life.
It doesn't.
And that's not being me being fickle and like not fickle is not the word. I can't think today, but not to like downplay everything and be like, oh, I don't enjoy sports, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change much really.
Yeah, don't let it ruin your life or ruin your day.
Well, even if they won everything, let's say England win for the next 5 years, they win the Rugby World Cup, they win the Football World Cup, they win the Cricket World Cup. Okay, then what?
Yep,
You know what I mean?
I know. It's crazy.
So I was like, Don't let it completely take over your life. There's more things to life than just
Steve
sports.
Stephen Matembu,
Yeah.
2024.
Listen, like I want to go off in a bit. Like
No, I was being serious, but slightly taking the wicked sometimes. You're right. It is. It shouldn't let us ruin our life. So, onto your favorite hobby horse of our podcasts is the scientists wasting their times. So, scientists have recently discovered that hippopotamuses can become airborne for significant periods of time. And by significant, from reading the article, it says 0.3 seconds.
I mean, um, sure, cool, yeah, fantastic.
I don't know how
That's
that
all.
counts as significant, but yeah, I suppose it is quite impressive for a thing that's that heavy. But
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I'm just taking that one in. That's all I'm gonna do. It's wowed me that much. I need to take it in a little bit more.
steep.
Um, Going back to the Paralympics, the Indian chap was Vivek. I can't remember his last name. Vivek Rams. Doesn't matter. Anyway, he's quite a cool candidate. I think he'll be
Nice.
interesting in the future.
No, yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So cool. Hippopotamuses and all that. Fantastic. Amazing.
Well, there we
So
go.
why don't they push like more stories about stem cells? Literally,
Because
well, we kind of know why, but literally
hippopotamuses
life-saving medical treatment that could literally change everything. But no, we'll talk about hippopotamuses,
that's much more important.
you know.
Airborne
Well,
hippopotamuses are going to change life.
I'm gonna put on the tinfoil hat again because obviously if they can solve everything, who's they gonna sell all their drugs to?
There you go.
There you go.
Okay,
Tinfoil hat fully on, even though
Steve's
that's
full
not.
of deep knowledge today.
Well, it's not even deep, right? It's just obvious, really, isn't it? Because if you solve all the issues, then who's gonna buy the drugs, or who are they gonna sell the drugs to? Who's gonna be in the hospitals? They kind of need. Well, they got all them beds. They need people on the beds. You know what I mean?
I don't. We need less people on beds here. But that's a different problem.
Hmm.
Social care issues. We're going back to
Yeah.
politics, which is your
Well, it's not
favorite
even
topic.
politics. Just improve general health, make certain things a bit more free, solve a lot of issues. But I
Agreed.
don't. Sometimes I feel like there are some people at the top that generally don't want that.
Oh, there probably is. There's probably well, there was a guy that got in a lot of trouble. I think it was an American guy that bought a company that sold a drug, I think, or he bought the rights to a drug that was very cheap and was like life saving, and he then bought it and like sent the price up ridiculously purely for greed. And
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not surprised.
no,
It's happening a lot more than we think, but it just comes under like, oh no, the company is obviously wanting what's best for you. But in the day, a new job comes out, it's going to be expensive. They need people to sell it to. If everyone's reasonably fit and healthy, then a lot of these conglomerates will just fall apart.
mm, it's true, just true.
So I'm not saying it's everybody, but I feel like there are like at least I don't know, let's pluck a random number out of the sky. Let's just say like 5% of these companies that probably all are, well, there's probably a lot more because I just feel like anyway, there's a money incentive. The health thing is probably not as important anymore. It's just let's push, well, everything's like that, but let's just push profit
There we go.
more than the basics of, go get some exercise, eat more regularly healthy foods, and 8 times out of 10, you're gonna feel a lot better, and you're not gonna need all these tablets. Because once you take one tablet, you're gonna need to take another tablet for that tablet, and the whole thing is just a spiral.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's tinfoil hat stuff. People aren't ready for that, are they?
it's the conglomerates. There you go. So,
Mm.
don't get too into sport. Don't let it ruin your life, and think about the conglomerates and they're taking over the world. And on
Basically,
that,
get outside and touch grass, eat better, and you'll be a lot better off.
there we go. And on that fantastic note, we hope you have a great week, and we'll see you soon.